Hey people, Indrid here. 3v3 faction war. This is Estia Province and Eldar versus Chaos Space Marines. For the blue Eldar team, Gatts is a Farseer support hero fighting in melee, some powerful buffs and control. Double Warlocks alongside Saint Galahad and the mighty Tenso. These are melee spellcasters that leap into combat, some powerful disruption and support. Red Chaos fellas, we have AmeAnimal, with a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero, walking through objects that cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption, fighting in melee alongside. Xenomorph is a Plague Champion, starts off with a damage of a time bolt gun, can get to melee weapons, some strong utility and support, can also repair. And rounding off the teams, Todd as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. Just backed away from a Warlock, but a Warlock got a very good destructor on those idle heretics over there. Well, not idle. They were capping two Eldar heroes through the mid. Warlock already disrupting the CSM, but the Banshees weren't quite close enough to take advantage of that. Now they turn their attention onto the Plague Champion, and look at the damage already. Looks like Xenomorph is going to have to back off here, but the Chaos Lord comes through to help out. Saint Galahad still has double Guardians in the mid. And there's double Guardians here for Gatts as well. Not sure where Gatts' Banshees are. Here they are. Came out a little bit late compared to the other Eldar players who went immediately for the Banshees. Basically a full retreat through the mid then for Xenomorph, but they didn't lose any models, I don't think. Going to get their VP decapped, but that's not the end of the world. Chaos Lord runs away. Double Heretics backing off, some of them dying. But it happens. Howling Banshees did indeed get the decap. Heretics with a Doom Blast, and then they run another Doom Blast coming in. There we go. Sacrifices one of the models in a violent explosion, damaging nearby enemies and suppressing them. Here come the Howling Banshee specials. That was terrifying. Now the CSM caught retreating. Retreating units take 30% more damage from melee attacks. And those guys are taking more anyway because those are power melee weapons against the heavy infantry armor. So Howling Banshees catching Marines on retreat is really bad news for the Marines. Bashed the power and decapped it. Chaos Lord with a kill of the week. It does hit something, but it wasn't a great hit. There's some Corn Worship for +2 speed for Animals units. Set to be nerfed, of course, in 2992, up to +1.75 speed. In fact, that update may already be out by the time this video goes live. Here are Space Marines with Eternal War for Xenomorph, giving them 20% more damage, both melee and ranged. You can see those Chaos insignias around their bolt guns telling you they have it, and that plus indicator. Looks like Todd lost their Heretics, but got double CSM. Yeah, there we go. Maybe they got destructed again.
We are losing a victory objective.
Because, yes, Tenso doesn't have any grenades. They are getting the aspect of strength, but their early power was spent on the Guardian weapon team there, which Todd can, of course, counter using Sigil of the Rift or maybe the Vestments of the Warp. Havoc setting up on the west side. And Todd also got some Havocs. I hear Banshees war shouting. I think it was these ladies in the mid for Saint Galahad. Aspect of Strength giving them some more health. Fleet of Foot and allows them to war shout. Also upgrades the Exarch in tier 2, assuming they survive. Heretics with an aspiring champion, chaining together some Corn Worship there. Warlock made it into some CSM. Plague Champion comes to say hello with his stinky bolt gun. Xenomorph have got no other units up here. Are they looking for a very quick tier 2, I suppose, perhaps? Not sure. Very strange not to see another unit out at this point. CSM maybe could be looking for some melee against those Guardians. Double grenades coming in and taking out two of the Chaos Space Marines. Warlock is trying to finish him, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to. Chaos Space Marines able to get away. Very sloppy from Xenomorph there, kind of just blundered into the fight and didn't spot the grenades. They only had 2 units to look after. Not sure where the Heretics were. The Heretics were back at base as well. They got double CSM up. Eternal War on the way. Very slow to get that second CSM squad out. Maybe they were thinking of rushing tier 2 and decided against it because they're being pinned back a bit here by the Eldar. Rangers on the field for Gatts. Long range sniper infantry that have some support stuff. Grenade launcher heretics with aspiring champion that can disrupt from long range and deal some pretty solid anti-infantry damage with those grenade launchers. Howling Banshees war shouting alongside their Warlock. This is the Tenso here. Oh, there's a St. Galahad's Warlock. Banshees, I mean. Ouch. Oh boy. Nasty from Todd. Just let those Banshees get into melee, doom bolted their faces, and then kept those CSM in melee for a bit, and it almost wiped those Banshees. CSM lucky to get away with 2 models there. Banshees got away with a single model. So maybe they were lucky to get away at all. Howling Banshees have found the Chaos Sorcerer, knocking him around with special attacks, doing huge amounts of damage. Big threat to low-level heroes, these guys. And down goes the Sorcerer. Should get revived, I think, by Xenomorph there. One Warlock leaves, another one arrives. This is St. Galahad. Care Space Marine with Eternal War and the Plague Champion getting some solid shooting in, though. And they can't stay there forever. Plague Champion can back off and revive the Sorcerer, maybe. Back to the southwest. Natural power of the Eldar. Animal had a little poke at it, but spots the Rangers and the Howling Banshees and stuff. Backs away. Eldar all go tier 2 in good time. Animal not quite floating. Xenomorph is floating. Over 160 power there. Howling Banshees caught by the Havocs. Got suppressed and had to back away. Heretics with aspiring champion. These guys might be looking for a grenade here. There it is. But they took a lot of damage getting that out. I don't think it hit at all. Heretics on the warpath. There's a better grenade from Galahad. Still took a whole bunch of damage getting that done, though. Almost wiped. On the west side, Heretics flee. Chaos Lords found some Guardians, but those Banshees were coming in with a flank. And I guess Kill the Weak wasn't available. They do have full energy. If Kill the Weak was available, you'd expect the Chaos Lord to stick around there and try to hit them with it. And then probably still run. So maybe they thought that wasn't worth the risk. If they missed the Kill the Weak and the Banshees bait it out, in big trouble. Guardian weapon team getting disrupted by grenades. Warlock can come and harass these double CSM and trying to bash power and decap power. Here's the flank from the Warlock. Sorcerer showed up with a Rod of Warp Fire on the way. In tier 2 is Todd. The Tenso with the Wraith Lord, St. Galahad, just goes straight to tier 3. Not something you'd really expect from an Eldar player. But here we are. Chaos Lord still level 1. Plague Champion's level 2. I think maybe they got a revive on Todd is why. Didn't actually see that go through though. Demon armor on the way for Todd. No war gear for the others. A Warlock with a Witchbane of Kernus for St. Galahad. Oh, and for the Tenso. Power melee DPS and the Ethereal Slash is pretty amazing too. Chaos Lord blunders into 2 Eldar players. Has to back away, but does keep a bunch of stuff in play. And here's Xenomorph with, double them up of Zinch. Inferno Bolts, generally seen as not worth it if you aren't fighting a predominantly heavy and super heavy infantry armor faction. But here we are, being used against Eldar here. It is more DPS than the regular bolt guns, but ouch. You'd maybe argue that grabbing the aspiring champion alone and using slaughter and stuff is a bit better. Gives you some versatility as well, because they can pull chainswords and go mental. Banshees just ripping through CSM like butter here. They wiped one squad, took the aspiring champion and the model off the another. Here's Animal with some Plague Marines and Dark Reapers up for Gatts. Meanwhile, the Tenso's pushed up the east side, but now the Wraith Lord might be in trouble. Autocannon and Plague Marines on it. Desperate repairs from double Guardians back here. But down goes the Wraith Lord. The Tenso pushed it really far up there. Warlock level 2. Can they wipe these heretics? Perhaps not. What is the DPS on this thing again? 35 piercing ranged DPS. That's more DPS than a default tech marine on this staff here. Not bad, eh? Just some warp lightning for your faces. Warlock gets the... Oh, they don't. They tried to get Heart of Darkness, but they died. On the west side, Chaos Lord levels up and gets Armor of the Inferno ready. Eldar really swarming this side though, with tons of ranged firepower and those rangers disrupting stuff. Oh, so they got some retreats. Oh, there's a Noxious Cloud coming in, that's why. Good usage of it, I think, just to get that mass retreat, and they killed a couple of rangers and maybe some other models too. Farseer is still here. Level 3 Marco Zinc CSM. Pumping out some good DPS. But Xenomorph doesn't really have much else, eh? Just some heretics. And a War Gearless Plague Champion level 3. Tier 3 for Gatts. Double Plague Marines for Animal. No vehicles on that side, but they're still a solid unit to have. Quite tough, good for capping and just tying things up in melee and being annoying because they slow it down. Howling Banshees. Trying to get through on some juicy retreating Marines, but the heretics said no with their grenade barrage. Well timed there from Todd. Tier 3 now for Xenomorph. And they have established on the west side the Chaos Fellas. Can they stabilize over here though? Chaos Lord looks like he's going for that wreck point. Meanwhile, Banshee's looking for a target, getting suppressed though. Nice placement of those Havocs by Animal. The War Shout does suppress some Chaos stuff. And Eldar coming through the side. Plague Champion is standing around shooting things and getting the Icon of Nurgle on the way. That should do some good work here. Banshees were too close to the Plague Marine stink, so they were being slowed down there. Oh, Plague Champion goes down. And the Icon of Nurgle no longer functions when he's down. I think we saw one pulse of it go off there. Should get revived, I think. Heretics are with Touch of Nurgle. Global ability of the Plague Champion. Dying units explode in a big old explosion, damaging enemies, knocking them back, and healing allies. Synergizes well with Doom blasting heretics, of course. CSM showing up to help. Need to be careful, doesn't last forever. Now it's worn off, in fact. Those guys may go down now. That's sloppy again from Xenomorph. With Touch of Nurgle active, he just had to retreat them, and a death explosion would have helped them get away, but they waited until it completely wore off and then retreated. They're down to just level 3 CSM Xenomorph. Animal almost at the tier 3. Todd now goes tier 3 to Tenso getting there too. With an Autarch on the field actually. Eldar did retake the west side. 423204. Just saw the time field go off on that west side, but let's have a look at what this Autarch is doing. She's jumping through and then running. Got through onto the power, did Todd. There's some Corn Worship. Gets them onto the VP nice and quick. This is Providence from the Warlock of St. Galahad. Invulnerable, immune to knockback, and huge energy regen. Also, that Heart of Darkness is up. With some energy back. 423 to 190. Warlock goes down after all that fancy jumping around and hitting stuff. Chaos Lord shows up with some sword strikes. I think that was that a kill of the week that missed. I think it may have been. Howling Banshees on him now. These ladies with aspect of fleetness. Gatts showing up on this side again. Not sure where they went to. Oh, maybe to revive the Tenso's Warlock. Did they go down? Heart of Darkness is up. I think they did. 407, 190. I saw one of the Warlocks go down, but I forget who it was. What is this? Oh, is that Heart of Darkness? I see. Providence on the way here too. Pretty autocannon pain. That's nasty. And good range too. Level 2 Sorcerer. Energy shield put up by those Guardians. Autarch jumps in. And levels, and now needs to be careful, because there's an autocannon right there. She is getting her shield. Meanwhile... Oh, they bashed power. Well done, fellas. With double Plague Marines. Went down pretty quick, I imagine. A Chaos Predator up for Xenomorph. And have some more Heretics to help with Nurgle worship and repairs and stuff. It's a Predator with no mark. But it's still a bloody tank. Not much here to threaten it too. Let the Galaxy burn. Actually fell short and didn't hit anything, I don't think. Banshees on the double Plague Marines. They will explode on death. Those guys almost wiped though, eh? Dark Reapers doing some good damage. Now they have to run. Rangers can disrupt as well. But a tank's a tank, and those guys couldn't do much about it. Now the Farseer must run. She's still level 1, eh? 351 to 190 on the VPs. Plague Champion now with the Plague Fist. Armor of Pestilence. And the Icon of Nurgle. Icon of Nurgle does passive damage to nearby enemies every few seconds. Plague Fist is a heavy melee weapon with a good support ability called Pestilence Strike, and the Armor of Pestilence makes him tougher and even slower. Still upset that it's got nerfed to 500 hit points. Come on now. Avatar of Cain on the field for St. Galahad though. Super unit for Eldar. Buffs nearby infantry and is powerful in combat, but the Fire Prism, getting a couple of good shots on the Predator there. Generally they want to stay away from tanks, the Fire Prisms though. Try and keep it at their maximum range. Another Chaos Predator on the east side from Todd. So maybe we'll see a fusion gun on this Autarch. I think the fusion gun is getting a cost reduction in 2992. Eldar take the west side back. So they have double Plague Marines. Does oh, Animal has no Chaos Space Marines left. I see. I was going to say, do they have Mark of Zinch? What's going on? Xenomorph lost their Chaos Space Marines too. Right there, maybe. While I was waffling on. Mark of Zinch. Chaos Pred taking big shots from the Fire Prism though. Here comes that Plague Champion. As stinky as ever. Throws down a Pestilence Strike to stun those Banshees. Fire Prism backing away from the scary tank, especially with that anti-vehicle Mark of Zinch upgrade. Heretics busy repairing it there. Animal with a great unclean one on the way. Galahad has a Fire Prism of their own. The Tenso still nothing up in tier 3. Pushing through onto the power. Heavy melee on those Banshees. But they can't chase the tank through anymore. Looks like they're going to be alright. Yeah, they're fine. What is this? It's an Avatar of Cain. In the base of Animal. I don't think he's going to get away though. Trying to take out base turrets? What are you up to, St. Galahad? Avatar goes down. Just as a great unclean one appears. Super unit for Chaos. You can worship this guy as a greater demon. And he'll do some good work for you. Passively damages nearby enemies. Powerful melee. And he can shoot his intestines out. Which is fun. Xenomorph down to 2 units. A tank. And some heretics. They got a level 5 Plague Champion though. Meanwhile, east side, Warlock jumping around, being a weirdo. Sorcerer warp firing some poor Guardians there. Autocannon wants to say hello. And Warlock must run. Kicking off on the west side. Great Unclean One making a bunch of Eldar stuff stink real bad. Taking damage over time, having to leave. That was Cloud of Flies, an ability going off over there. And it's spread to these Banshees now. Banshees can do really good damage to a Great Unclean One because it's got heavy, super heavy infantry armor. And they've got power weapons. But it's generally a bad fight to take, as you would expect. In that instance, though, they had the Great Unclean One on the run, taking shots and stuff. Here comes that Plague Champion, throwing down the Pestilent Strike. And crunching through some Guardians, eh? Can't stay here forever, though, Mr. Plague Champion. And they're having a good time. Level 6 and all. Look at the XP just racking up because of Icon of Nurgle. That's nuts. Goes down, though. Level 7 Warlock for St. Galahad. And a level 2 Farseer now has the Runes of Reaping. Chaos Lord just ignores her as he tries to cap the VP. Those double Plague Marines have done well, eh? But they've survived. Animal had a tank on the way and cancelled it. Xenomorph now has some Chaos Terminators, and they have the autocannon up already. There's Time Field. Banshee's looking at those Chaos Terminators. Could do some really good damage to him. Those guys can't teleport again as well. They just used it. And here's some more Terminators for Animal. Can they focus down those Banshees? I think they maybe can. Great Unclean One comes back to the front lines. Terminators now turn their attention to Power Fists. And the Banshees do flee. There we see some of that demoralization effect from the Chaos Terminators wiping out those Banshees, actually. Eldritch Storm. Looks like it's largely dodged. Not sure who threw that down. Looking at the red, it could have been Galahad or the Tenso. Great Unclean One leaves the lines. 292 to 106. Those eastern players have been very focused on that eastern side from what I've seen. We haven't seen them rotate mid that much. There's the Autarch of the Tenso doing just that, though. They can get some more decaps on the VPs. They can help out. Help relieve the pressure on the west side for both of their allies if they can. Another Eldritch. That time I think it was Gatts, actually. Unless they called in some... No, I thought maybe they called in some Seer Council. Plague Champion harassing some Eldar, runs away. Chaos Terminators on capping duty. There's some... Oh, there's a Nurgle Shrine with some Nurgle worshipping it. That will help out those Terminators. Gives you a bunch of health regen. You can reinforce off it as well if you're worshipping the Shrine. Warlock down for the Tenso. They have a webway gate here. And this is Todd's Chaos Predator. Seer Council are up for St. Galahad. Oh, that tank taking big shots from maximum range. Eldar giving chase. Grenade barrage. Oh, may have saved it, actually. It did knock down the Exarch, and now some CSM can throw some Zinch bolts in there from Xenomorph. Warlock will revive Warlock. Level 8 here for St. Galahad. 283 to 66 on the VPs. Chaos have that west side. Can they keep hold of this, though? Because that's a Seer Council. Dangerous power melee squad with good mobility and some passive support aura. Doing huge damage to the CSM, but the Terminator, sorry, but they just got lightning claws. Now they're just mincing through stuff. Turn their attention to the Seer Council, who are trying to stay in the fight, but it was a mistake. They wipe out. Chaos Terminator's getting it done with those claws, eh? Level 8 Plague Champion shows up now. Icon of Nurgle's been awesome here. Galahad now down to 2 Guardian squads. Fire Dragons on the way. Great Unclean One still right. Todd maybe saving up for a super unit. They do have tons of power. Or maybe they just want to say, wait for more Terminators that can drop in. Animal did lose their Terminators. Can I see their bodies anywhere? Yeah, these are Xenomorph's Terminators. Pretty sure, yeah, Animal did definitely have some. It's not over yet, says the Tenso. 255 to 66. They do have a big VP lead, the Eldar. Galahad trying to recover now with double fire dragons. A decent way to recover, I think. Anti-everything units with good mobility. And combine that with Eldar buffs, they can be super effective. And they have some decently strong allies alongside them, still with good rosters and stuff. More Chaos Predators on the way. Which the Fire Dragons could help do something about. These guys now have their X-Art. There's the Great Unclean One. And they'll do some really good damage to the Great Unclean One too. Those fusion guns are meld to damage type, which a Great Unclean One will not enjoy. Theo Slash and a crazy Warlock. Yeah, good damage on that Great Unclean One, and there's no worship here to support it. Those heretics should be worshipping, I feel like. There's a grenade barrage. And Lightning Claw heretics are in there. 230, 66. Big fight kicking off, and there's some Malignant Blindness and into an Eldritch Storm. Malignant Blindness was from the Chaos Lord. The Eldritch Storm was from Galahad, I think. This tank, I believe, is done for. Maybe not. Breaks line of sight. And then Imperial Abyss thrown in by Todd. Fire Prisms found an angle on the tank, but doesn't shoot it. Shot at a Plague Marine instead. Now takes the tank out. That was Gatts. Nicely done. Oh, they're going to lose it though. The double Plague Marine's getting it done. Still 2 Fire Prisms here from the Tenso. That was a crazy fight. 222, 66. Chaos Terminators for Xenomorph with the autocannon taking the Western VP. And here comes a Land Raider Phobos from Todd. Uh-oh, Seer Council in on these guys. They got some Nurgle worship. There's an Eldritch Storm though. That should wipe the shrine, right? No, maybe not. The shrine survives somehow. Terminators need to teleport out though. There we go. Those guys back to worshipping. 209 to 66. Farseer level 4. What did they get suppressed by? Oh, they got suppressed by the shrine. The shrine will suppress enemy infantry that get close. More Chaos Terminators now for Xenomorph. Where's that Plague Champion? Oh, here he is. Level 10. Icon of Nurgle is so good for leveling up. Especially against a light infantry faction like Eldar. Farseer shot to death. More Seer Council on the way for Galahad. Gatts has some now, but they're back at base. Double Fire Prisms helping to pour in some fire support. More Terminators from Animal. Double Grenades chucked in. Being supported by the Demonic Shield over here. 199 to 66 on the VPs. Land Raider Phobos, where are you going? Oh, nowhere yet. It's just sitting in base at the moment. Plague Champion comes to say hello. Fire Prisms can't knock him over because of the Armor of Pestilence. And is doing a lot of damage to the Autarch. Autarch throws up the shield. Still needs to be careful though, I think. Doom Bolts flies in as well. 199 to 66. Deal with a 1-to-1 cap. Looks like a Warlock died trying to get that VP done. Phobos is there. Phobos looks like it's coming over to this west side. Contested victory point. Generally where you want to park your Land Raider, regardless of what kind of Land Raider it is. But sometimes you'll see the Phobos a bit more aggressively trying to go after enemy vehicles kind of thing. since it's not really a support vehicle like the other Land Raiders are. Dark Creepers on the way for Gatts. They got to do something about these Terminators, I suppose. Or the Fire Dragons will help out. Galahad only has one left though. Dark Flames thrown in by the Sorcerer. Warlock revives Warlock. Almost level 10, St. Galahad. The Tenso leaves. And now it's Seer Council versus Lightning Claw Terminators, which is not a good fight for those guys. As awesome as they are in melee, Lightning Claws just destroy other melee squads. 18866, Ethereal Slash. Goes in on the Terminators. Terminator's trying to cap. Plague Champion's fighting though. There's Aura of Decay to knock back the Warlock. Throws up Providence. Oh, then runs away. West side. Eldar decapping it. There's some Pawn Worship. Auto cannon setting up here. Banshee's unable to finish the cap. Can they even escape? Looks like they're alright. These double fire prisms are still here, eh? And another one on the way for the Tenso. They've done well to manage these and also push the mid. Phobos is parked kind of midway between the center and the west side, which is smart from Todd. They can help out on big contested victory point fights and also stop things going through the mid so easily. Eldar got to push the mid, I think. There's a lot of stuff on the west side. I need to get the Chaos fellas moving. Down goes a Fire Prism. Just as I said how good they were doing. Eldritch Storm. Seen a bunch of them, eh? Haven't seen any decans though. Cloud of Flies made a bunch of those guys stink. Not sure what these Terminators are doing. There we go. They weren't shooting. Looks like they were on melee mode. 160 to 66. 2-1 for the Chaos fellas. And with all these Terminators and that Plague Champion, they're looking pretty damn strong here. See a Council White. Galahad down to a single unit now. And it's Fire Dragons. That might be GG. I don't know if Galahad has time or resources to respond well enough here. GG says the Tenso. Oh, they tried to get this VP again, look. So Mark of Khorne, Chaos Space Marine to Todd. And there's the game, Eldar conceding at the end. That big decisive fight. 4 squads of Terminators shooting this Plague Champion causing absolute mayhem. With the Icon of Nurgle and that Fist. Struggled to preserve their units, but who cares when you got a level 10 Plague Champion that did a lot of work by himself over there. Farseer level 4. A level 9 Warlock for St. Galahad. Did some really good work in combat, I guess. Level 4 Warlock for the Tenso. Level 9 Chaos Lord. Did have armor. I don't think I ever saw them hit Let the Galaxy Burn. I'm sure I just missed a bunch of them. That level 10 Plague Champion and the level 7 Sorcerer also did some good work. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to these players for taking part in a faction war, and the legend, the Tenso, for sending it in. I'll see you guys next time.